This is Josh Hunter, presently in the city of Santa Monica, California. I'm mainly making this video because a lady came up to me and she asked me for a cigarette, or she asked me for a lighter. She said, "Do you have a light?" And I just stared back at her blankly, and she got upset and she said, "Do you have a light, bitch?" And she yelled it at me. And I don't know, it was just kind of, it was a bit much. Maybe that's a reflection of how I seem. Like, maybe that's what I've been. Like, I've been like a bit too much. So anyway, it inspired me to do this video. And as you know, for about 10 years I studied this. It's called the I Am activity. It's kind of a similar. It's based on Christianity. Like, it's based off the principles that Jesus taught, but it includes a lot of other stuff too. And the goal is still the same. It's like, oh, you want to get to heaven. So this video is, if you are someone who is either involved in this and you kind of don't want to be involved, or you would like a different viewpoint about this activity, or if you are someone who has come across somebody who believes in this, but they have somehow bullied you or made you feel like shit as a result of their believing in this, then this video is for you. So I'm going to bring up a couple of things, and they're perspectives that I believe are relevant, and it's just meant to give you an idea of something to take into consideration. So, the first thing is, it was founded and led by two people, Guy Ballard and Edna Ballard. They gave themselves the names Godfrey Ray King and Lotus Ray King. Now, something I think you might want to notice is, why would a guy who founds a belief system, or at least leads the belief system, why would he give himself the name Godfrey? Does that mean God free without God? Why would he give himself that name of all names? Secondly, some of the decrees and chants that they ask you to give, they say in the books, and there's like a 20 books in the main series, and they say that once you give these decrees, that they constantly gain energy as time goes on. Like, literally, you say it and it will go on its way, gathering and perfecting itself as time goes on. So if you look at the world around you, and at one point there were like millions of people doing this at the same time, millions of people giving these decrees, you would think, okay, well, after 80 or 90 years, shouldn't this world have been like, made like awesome and stuff? Like, and if this is the result of 80 or 90 years of decrees and chants or whatever, then what does that mean? Thirdly, this activity started in mid to late 30s, or specifically in 1932, and the main guy, his name is Saint Germain. Now, if you rearrange the letters in this name, that spells Nazi Germany, and that's when this was most popular. Fourthly, there is a line in this book, and I really tried to not look at this, but I thought it meant something else. But there's a line in the third book. It says, "The United States of America is the home of the white race." I thought they were talking about like the white ray. They got the blue ray, the green ray, the violet ray. I thought the white ray was just like, that's what they meant, like people who were of the white ray. But they may have been actually talking about, like, flesh and blood racism. So I don't know. Fifthly, you say fifthly or fifth? The leaders of this group, the teachings say that you're basically getting the best information that anyone has ever gotten on the earth about spiritual activity. That you can be immortal, You can live forever, you can have unlimited energy, and you can be young and beautiful forever. Yet the two people who led this group, Guy and Edna, Guy Ballard died of cirrhosis of the liver in like 1940 something. Like, if he had the greatest information that any person ever got, why did he die of cirrhosis of the liver? I thought that's just something, to take into consideration. His wife Edna carried on for the rest of this, led the activity for something like 40 years or whatever. And then she aged and then died. So if this information was accurate, why did it not produce real results? Why did they age? Why did they die? Sixth, the company, the Saint Germain Foundation were convicted of mail fraud, either in the late 30s or early 40s. Maybe actually late 40s, I think. If they were, supposedly, chosen by God, which they refer to as the mighty iron presence, why didn't they and the ascended masters, who were also considered gods, why did they not prevent them from getting convicted of mail fraud? I mean, if this was like the greatest stuff that ever, couldn't they have found some way to avoid, getting publicly convicted of a crime? Something to take into consideration. I studied this for like 10 years. I mean, I saw all this stuff and I had no issue with it. But here's the, all right, so let's see, this would be seventh, right? Here's the thing that got me. All right, the basis of the belief is that everything is made up of God and God doesn't make any mistakes. So there is no such thing as a mistake. Yet they are constantly, one of the laws is that you be obedient to your mighty iron presence, that you are obedient to the laws that are set out. So my question is, if God doesn't make a mistake and there are no mistakes, why do I have to be obedient? Like, technically, if I'm not making a mistake, then I'm always being obedient to the law, and I'm always being obedient to God. And this was a thing that undid everything, and I couldn't believe it anymore after that. Eighth. It is my contention that the reason why this feels good, or the reason why it feels that it works, is that they use a lot of names of other religious people. They use the names of other religions, the names of different star systems, and things that have an inherent quality and energy in it, which makes it feel like something is happening. And so the religion is based pretty much on other religions. It's based on top of Christianity, on top of Judaism, on top of Islam. They borrow from all these things, and they rest right on top. It's like they're resting on the shoulders of all these other beliefs, and that's how it seems. That's why it sometimes seems like it has so much energy, because they've drawn forth all the names of all of these different activities and made it, presentable. But it's not necessarily original. There isn't there's no original content. It's like they're just like basically old school reaction videos. Ninth, I came up with an email called Satan Kurama, which is an anagram of one of the masters that they talk about in this book called Sanat Kumara. And so I used this email to email the main headquarters in Schaumburg, Illinois. And I was just, wondering, is there anybody out here? Am I just out here? Is there a group? Because these guys are like, let's save America. I'm like, I want to save America. But I couldn't get anybody to work with me. These guys, they're just, I don't know. I was taking it very seriously. I'm like, let's save America. And I started this in 2008. And I started, applying in 2008. And they said, we're not going to continue correspondence with you until you change your email. I said, what are you talking about? First of all, in the third book, Saint Germain says the name Satan doesn't really refer to the devil, and there isn't really a devil. It just means to turn away from that which is inharmonious. I said, this is in the book. Why are you guys saying that you won't that you're not going to talk to me if I don't change my email? I'm trying to, and they're and then nothing, and then nothing. So I went down to the reading room in Long Beach, and I had all the books. I was carrying like 16, 15 books with me, and I was like, all right, guys, let's save America. Let's do this. And I don't know. I couldn't get very much. It's not like they were like saying, all right, well, the guys in Schaumburg were like, no, and these other guys, I mean, they were cool, but they weren't like let's save America. They did not seem to have the same enthusiasm that I did. 11. They say that each IM student is worth 100 people who don't know about their IM presence. That literally, if you know about your IM presence, you are worth at least 100 people who don't. So, if there are all these IM students out there right now, why have they not? It seems like, this stuff is supposed to be like the best stuff on earth. That's what they're always saying. They're always saying like this is the best information, the best religion. Like nobody, no, you couldn't beat this religion, is what they're saying. And that it has healing energy and can cure everything. And so I'm asking myself, like during this time of the coronavirus, technically it shouldn't take more than like 10 like sincere IM students to wipe this thing out. That's like 1,000 people focused on the idea of curing and resolving, a deadly disease. Why haven't they done it? There are still people who believe in this. There are temples all over the world. Why haven't the IM students eradicated the coronavirus? Why hasn't the IM presence given them the power to solve this thing? I mean, we have a lot of things going on in the world, but I would imagine this would be like a very pressing issue that faces the whole planet. What are the IM students doing? Are they just resting on their ass? So, anyway.
Line 33, Santa Monica. Welcome. Regular fare is 175.
I think that's it. There were some other things, but basically, this is just to help you if you are already involved in this activity. And I'm talking specifically about the St. Germain Foundation. There are different versions of this with like Elizabeth Clare Prophet and all that. And I have Summit Lighthouse. I haven't studied that, so I don't know what that is. But if you are specifically involved with the St. Germain Foundation, or you are in close contact with someone who is involved in this, and they're making you feel they're making you feel like shit, but somehow you don't feel like you somehow feel that they're above you or whatever, and you just want to, I don't know, you want to feel, you don't want to necessarily like, I don't know, you want to feel secure in whatever you already believe in, but you don't want these guys to bully you and make you feel like shit. So this video is for you, if you are either of those type of people, and if you're on the fence, well, I'm recommending that, you find something else to believe in. 10 years I've been at this, I couldn't even get a bed. I don't know, maybe I'm not very good at it, that could be it. But anyway, if I couldn't get a bed in 10 years, then it ain't for me. Like, I'm not talking about going to heaven and let me get some good rest. Can I use this to get some good rest? And in 10 years, I haven't gotten good rest. So maybe it's not for me. Alright. I'm 34 years old. And I've got the best grades all